Welcome to another episode of the KMS Producer Show. Coleman, how's it going, buddy?
It's going great. Just trying to get the episode all uploaded and everything. So yeah, it's been a great week. I think we've had a really great stretch over the past week, the past couple of episodes, the telethon and everyone on the network helping out. And obviously this big stuff today with YouTube taking down Surviving Barstool. So it's been a really good stretch and definitely some more to come. We have Andy Mayo in studio with us. Very excited about that in his pre-Disney phase right now. Andy, how are you doing? How did you think the show went today?
I think I've had better shows.
I didn't think you were too bad.
Yeah, see, I'm never a good judge because sometimes, I don't know. That's how I felt. But Kirk at one point said he thought today's gone well, so that's all that matters.
Yeah, it was weird because you and Steve were just both yourselves to the perfect degree, and that balancing act the entire time was what I think Kirk was talking about when he was saying this would be a show from hell. And we had an amazing amount of Barstool callers call in throughout the day as well. So jam-packed episode if you haven't listened yet. 3 hours long, lot to talk about, lot to discuss. But really good stuff all around.
Did we hit 3 hours?
Yes, we did.
So I was just kind
of asking shit at the end because I looked and I was like, I think we're like 6 minutes away.
Yeah, so I was looking at all the episodes from this week. Yesterday and today were roughly 3 hours. Yesterday was just under, it was like 2:53. But then on Wednesday, it was 2.5 hours. And then Monday, the show itself was another 2.5 hours. And then you add the 6.5 of the live stream. So that's over 17 hours of content this week alone. So it's been a lot of stuff. But I've been having a lot of fun this week. It's been a great week.
You guys are you guys are killing it. Kirk said today, did I hear him correctly? He said the past how many months it's the highest download rate?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of factors that I think also go into that.
Yeah,
I don't.
Gus,
no,
Andrew Augustus.
No,
Gussie bullshit.
No, and no.
No, but there's a lot of different aspects to that as well. I mean, I'll keep going back to it, but that was an amazing Black Friday weekend and Cyber Monday telethon. I mean, that entire telethon is bringing in a lot of views that entire stretch of the day. But then you have stuff like the vlog that does well. And then you have stuff like Surviving Barstool that's doing really well. I mean, the one video of Kirk from that had over like 4 million views. So there's so many aspects to the world of it all that are really generating some growth and some views and everything. So it's just great.
Yeah, and mostly Gus.
Yeah, mostly Gussie bullshit.
No, it's one of those things too. And I think Jeff was the one who said it. It's people at Barstool are now realizing if Kirk's involved in an event, odds are he's going to be involved in the viral clip. The Writers' Cup, it was Kirk's clip. Surviving Barstool so far, it's a Kirk clip.
Great point.
Yeah. So it's one of those things. I think we're getting more eyeballs from people who've maybe heard of Kirk and have heard other shows kind of talk down about Kirk, because usually when he's brought up on a Barstool show, it's 9 out of 10 times in a negative context. So now that they're kind of seeing who he is and the style is, I think it's opening a lot more eyes.
Well, we heard today, apparently Tommy Smokes is now listening in and becoming a Minifan, I guess.
What started as, I think, a play for Surviving Barstool to kind of get a little mindset is now, I think that's how it always works. It goes from curiosity to be like, holy shit, this is actually really fucking funny.
Yeah, can I welcome Tommy to the Handsome Minifan Club?
Sure.
Welcome, Tommy.
But outside of him, too, I mean, we've seen a lot of stuff with radio this week with... Nate in the mix with Surviving Barstool too, where it almost seems like he's giving off a little Kirk impression a lot of the time.
Oh, that was 100% ripoff on Barstool Radio the other day.
So, I mean, you've heard Kirk say how he thinks Nate is a fan of his or he admires him for whatever reason. So I think Nate is also sneaky kind of tuning in and listening. So it's great exposure for the show in general.
There's definitely a lot more personalities at Barstool, I think, who are, especially after like seeing Kirk on Surviving, are now going to start picking up and seeing. And it's, look,
episode published
as a listener of this show, I think, and Andy, you could agree, I think what would aggravate a lot of fans is like when we would go after, like when Kirk would go after someone, like if you played along, you got away fine, and you're like, all right, we get it, we're good. But as soon as like you push back, oh, you piece of shit, blah blah blah. And then they get, oh, I don't get why they're coming after me after you say X, Y, and Z. I think people are starting to realize if you play along, you get it. It's actually going to be much more beneficial long term to have that relationship.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. You just have to know, like, he's going to say stuff that on paper is horrible. And I mean, just think of what's her name? Megan making money.
Right.
You know, like the stuff he said about her the past couple weeks. It's I could see if someone says to her, "Hey, look at what he said about you." It's hard to say, "Oh, he must be kidding. He must be an okay guy." But of course he is. It's just a joke. The whole thing is that it's just absurd and
Yeah, and that was
finding the line and then going way over it.
that was something Kirk touched upon too in this episode, was that he was the one mentioned by name in Dave's initial emergency press conference, and that first episode was also getting demonetized just for language, for cursing and everything. So it's such a finicky thing. I see it on the back end too, even uploading clips and everything. Like they'll tend to demonetize some that I don't even have curse words in it. Like I physically have cut a curse word out so that it wouldn't do that, and it does it anyway. And you see the views decrease way more than the ones that are just completely clean or whatever. It's absurd. So fuck YouTube. It all comes back to that, really.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be in your shoes having to figure out all those algorithms and I'm sure once you figure it out, it's changing.
That's the thing.
It's changing all the time.
It's changing, and also there's new social media coming out all the time. I mean, it didn't really pick up much, but Threads was a real thing that Barstool was talking about and telling producers to get into when it was first launched, but that just fell off. But you're always learning and always adapting to the internet, basically.
Did you guys get a bonus?
I believe so. I mean, it's
from the merch sales,
as David said, it would be spread across producers. I
don't think you should get one, Coleman.
Me?
Because the whole thing is like, oh, help the behind the scenes guys. Minifans fucking saved a behind the scenes guy.
How so?
You have your job thanks to, well, I guess not thanks to Minifans.
Well,
Yeah,
in part though, like thanks to Kirk for sure.
So you've
first
already
and
been
foremost.
saved. You should donate your bonus to the rest of the people.
Well, so this is my planning with it to some extent. I haven't really fully thought it out because I don't know the number or anything. But I would like to use some of it for the studio itself. I mean, there's clearly stuff that we need.
Yeah, but shouldn't Barstool pay for that?
Sure, but sometimes you want something done, you just got to go and get it done.
Yeah,
For example, like
sure, could we and wait months on end to get reimbursed or go around it some other way? Like, I don't know. I think I'd like to just take it upon myself in this role to try and fix some things.
I respect that. Gus, how come you're not doing that?
my goal is to have blackout curtains for Sunday's show, even though we're not going to need it Sunday night. At least have them up ready for next week to finally.
We need them.
We need them to.
They're brutal.
That and for in here too.
Oh yeah, this does. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
so
not
it's all backlit and it looks bad. So it's things like that we.
Yeah, I never considered that. You're right. That's like
it's like
stuff.
we've talked about it enough, but let's just put it up there and let's just get it done with, and it'd be so much easier to deal with. I can hang curtains. I've done it before.
Yeah. I believe in you. You gonna save those receipts and submit them 5 years from now? Like
If not, I'll just call Mutt because that seems like a handy thing Mutt could do to help.
But no, I think another aspect to it, like I would like to give back in some way, like maybe a little to charity as well. Gus helps me out. Maybe I can give a little there too, being in this A position. So I'd like to just see the number and work it out a couple different ways. But yeah, I don't think the majority of that is necessarily going straight into my pocket.
Yeah, I agree with that.
For the good of the
sure.
show. Yeah.
You guys feel good in general?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. You should.
I mean, I'm excited for what's coming up. Like as Kirk said, we're hitting a great stride right now, and there's a lot of cool things coming up, and I'm excited for. So it's definitely be ready on Wednesday morning at 9:30, especially for you new listeners out there who might not understand what a live show, like buying tickets for a live show, can be like for Kirk Minahan shows. It's get ready at 9:30, be ready quick because these usually sell out within 5 minutes.
And
I'm
I
gonna
believe
be in line for
we're
the fucking Dumbo ride trying to get it.
and I believe we aren't doing a pre-sale at all.
Nope.
So it's just gonna be all at once, go, and it'll be great on Wednesday with Carabas and Mutt in studio together. So that'll be fun.
Don't forget to ask Carabas if he's about my theory.
Your theory?
Yeah.
Good. We will. So let me think back to some of the other aspects of this week.
I mean, can we talk about Steve's list of ideas?
I think yes, sure, Gus. You got some thoughts?
I mean, when he handed it to me this morning, I smiled a little bit looking at it because, as Kirk so correctly pointed out, a lot of these ideas have either A, been talked about on the show already, or B, like are complete against what the show's been. Like I could give Kirk an email every Sunday with every phone call I made, every email I sent and that. But I think for the listener, him going, Gus, who'd you talk to? What'd you do? And 9 out of 10 times me fumbling, it makes it fun.
So I've thought about this actually, and I think it could be kind of funny because in the past with Portnoy, when he had some remote workers, he would make them send in a actual report. So I think it would be funny if you send your report for the weekend to me, and maybe we can do that as a segment of going through Gus's report. For better or worse, like it could be a funny thing to hear you like list walking the dogs as part of your day.
So just so basically just take a Truman Show-esque day-to-day like account of my day. Okay.
Just by hour or whatever, like maybe mark off what you're doing at any given time. I think it would be funny.
I will do it.
That's a good exercise for anyone to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll give you a lot to reflect on.
Definitely.
I know one thing I'm doing Saturday night, so gonna go see some lights.
Do you see what I mean with Steve though, where like Steve's suggesting to Kirk saying things like, that's what any employee should do or any employer should be asking. And it's like, that's the shit I used to say to them. But I've since learned, this
isn't
real
like
world,
any employer.
Exactly. Like Kirk he doesn't want to do it that way. That's what I mean with Steve, where it's like, I don't know if he's as familiar with the show as he says. And I'm not saying that as like a gatekeeping.
Yeah.
Oh, he's not I don't give a shit if he started listening yesterday.
I actually think
I'm curious about it.
I think that would have been like, if that was posed to me, I think you could argue that argument of like, he's the producer, like, what is he doing? For Gus, he's in his own role that isn't necessarily defined. Like, I'm the one back here getting everything set, having topics, having sounds, having drops, all this stuff. So that, when it comes to Gus, like, it's just such a, it's the classic Steve line. Like, what is Gus? Like, it's hard to really put it pen to paper. But you do know it when you see it. There's moments that come up and it's sounds and it's activities that he goes off and does that, that all just adds to his role. And I truly don't think it's all just, bits by bits by bits. Some things are a little bit more bit-like, but other times it's truly just natural. Like in his day-to-day conversation, he brings up shit that's just like, what the fuck are you doing?
Coleman, do you... I didn't directly get to this question. I was sort of tiptoeing around it when I asked you about if you're his boss. Mm-hmm. So you said his role is kind of undefined. Do you feel like it's part of your job to help define that for him? Or are you looking for Kirk to do it?
No, definitely. And I think that was something that I personally was struggling with a bit early on. I didn't know how much was supposed to be me implementing with Gus, how much it was supposed to be me dictating what he should do, how much it would just be, Gus living and dying on his own sword or whatever. But over time, and especially as we've added more stuff to the show, I've been able to concentrate that a bit more. So it helps with topics now. Like I am running by different things by Gus. He is sending me stuff as topics that he thinks would relate. And I do think that helps. Like I personally think that the topics have become more and more narrow and ingratiated within this world itself. Like I don't think I'm just running through Barstool topics as much anymore.
Yeah, we keep
they come up every once in a while and they're a miss for sure, but
but like every once I think the biggest change I've noticed with Coleman and I is like every weekend we're texting back and forth. Like if like yesterday was an idea, like he's like, oh, I think I have something for you to do on Monday. It's like go get the subway thing, and then we looked at it and we found like the only ones it's like New York, LA, all the major cities. So it's like things like that might come up. Yeah, it's a miss. Kirk obviously like shout out. All right, well that's just one thing. We can go to the next thing. Yep. So it's like, look,
like Gus brought doing the Danny walk thing to me. Like I didn't come up with that. That was Gus, and that I think is a good idea. That he did the live video and everything, and that was just in the moment.
Some people didn't
what is that?
What, the Danny walk?
Do you guys? I'm blocked by the fucking show account and by Gus.
Oh, so yesterday.
That's what I mean. I don't know what the fuck Gus is. I literally don't know what Gus has been doing.
Yesterday after the show, I went to the I was texting Danny. He gave me the address of the Airbnb, and we found the hotel. And I walked from the Airbnb to the hotel.
How was it?
It was a beautiful walk.
That's funny. Okay.
Also, I'm keeping tabs on the chat, so if anyone has anything, I just can't type in it for some reason. But
are we live?
Yeah, we're live.
Yes.
We always do this live.
Hi, everybody.
Are you kidding me? You got the cans on.
It's like it's one of those things, and like obviously, like there was one video. I think it's like Cain is Abel is the guy's name. Gives the typical.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't like the video because it was only just of me of my face. But to kind of counteract that, Coleman was also with me, and there's gonna be more to it in the vlog.
Yeah, like it'll be cut up and done for the vlog, and that can be its own little segment. Like I think that is something good that'll for me then, because that's where the vlog began to tie together for this week. I was like, okay, great. We're going on this walk into Danny coming in. And so you'll go from the walk straight into Danny in studio the next day.
Yeah.
And then you'll go from
And
that.
him coming in, like, I think what's funny is the fact that, like, on that whole walk, I'm saying, just put on goggles, put on a hat. And he comes in, like, all snow geared out. I'm like, all right, that's
Exactly.
funny. Good job, Dan.
Oh, that's why he was dressed like that.
Yes,
See,
yeah.
man, I got no idea what's going on anymore. I thought he was just really cold.
How do you not have a burner account?
I don't like switching back and forth.
There's a Paul Pierce, or what's it? Is it Paul Pierce? No, Ray Allen tweet in there somewhere. Let's see real quick.
To answer Freddie Lynn, why we went to, what was it, Clayto's Closet, because it's cheap. And you can get some really good clothes there for cheap. Like, if you wanted I
You
found
can probably get cool stuff there too.
Oh,
like,
I found-
any type of thrifting situation is awesome.
I found a stitched Baker Mayfield Cleveland Browns jersey for $20. I was like, that's cool.
What is it? Is it thrift, secondhand?
Yeah,
or-
it's like Salvation Army.
Oh,
It's-
okay.
It's something like that. It's secondhand store. It's people will set up times to sell old
What's,
clothes.
You know, people shed their skin in their clothing, right?
Yeah, I don't give a
You
shit.
give it a
Microscopically,
wash. You
it's-
got to give it a
No,
wash.
there's no
You-
getting that
you-
out, man. You're like wearing another person's skin.
I have put so many gross shit in my
Savers,
body.
that's the one I'm thinking of. Savers is dope.
Oh, Savers, yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard of them.
Yeah. So yeah, just looking back over the week, you were on the telethon, Andy.
Yes, I was.
Yeah,
was
he
there
was.
anything that
I was
stood out?
I was on it.
Yes.
Oh, I thought you said you weren't.
No. I'm saying you were on.
Oh, sorry, Coleman.
Was there anything that stood out to you from that you really enjoyed? Any segments or anything along the way there?
I honestly, I haven't seen a lot of it.
True. Yeah.
I was working that day. The type of work I was doing was the type where I can't have the show on while I'm doing it.
Yeah. No, I figured that.
So I
It was
got
a
in my
Monday.
car at like 4:30, and
Yeah.
it was like Menners, Kirk. Was Kirk on all day?
No.
Oh, okay.
We were in here all day, so we were on a lot of it.
It's so funny.
keep
that-
it running.
Just to turn on YouTube, he had just done Mike and the Minifans with them, and
Yeah.
then he's on there again.
Yeah.
No, I did enjoy what I heard. I honestly feel bad that I got Menners so mad. I gotta stop busting Menners balls.
Is there any hope there? Can
Oh,
we
of
can
course.
we bring back
Yes,
this relationship?
Menners, I love you. I'm sorry.
There you go.
I will never make fun of you or jokingly question your commitment to the network again.
There you go. Nender's taken back.
Yeah.
Real quick, I guess while we're at this, is there anything? I mean, we got Mike and the Minifans tonight.
Yep,
Right.
that's Ned Snark, Gig, Kane is Able is actually going to be on it, and then Gig, Kane is Able, Gig, and Danny. I'm like saying the name 5 times, but it's Danny.
Is this Kane is Abel's first like appearance on anything?
I think so.
That's nice. That's like old school network stuff of these people that are on Twitter and mixing it up and then getting them on a show. That's great.
I think one thing
I thought Billboard chart guy, real quick, making an appearance on the telethon was great.
that was
Oh,
funny.
yes.
That was who was it? That was like, that's what you look like.
They were just like, you look like Kirk was like, you look like my penis.
Yeah, it's like he looks exactly.
He
like
turns around in the shadow. It's awesome. That was a good moment.
That was one of the few times he kind of looked like what I've always pictured.
Yeah.
Which never happens. No one ever looks that way, but he kind of did.
So then moving ahead in the week, we had Mike on with Dave, with Cullinane. I think you brought this up, but yeah, Dave is a great person to have in the chair.
Oh, yeah.
He definitely feels comfortable. He clearly, knows what to talk about with Kirk and everything and brings up great points. So yeah, I've had nothing really but respect for Dave and learning from him and working with him a little bit. So I don't mind him in here at all. It was great.
No, yeah, Dave's perfect for the third chair.
Yeah.
Perfect for it. And him and Mike especially together are good. And Mike and Dave, I feel like if you ever have a rando Minifan coming in you're not sure of, you can put Mike or Dave next to him.
Yeah, for sure.
They'll help carry it.
And I mean, also the other big news from this week that I think needs to be addressed is the 4-year ban
It's
of
true.
the Drip
On the
Lord.
Yeah,
That's
well,
huge.
we all know those bands. Once those bands are set, they stick.
I mean, you're still blocked.
Yeah, well, I was banned from the studio too, though.
Well,
So I don't know. I would put my money on we'll see Pat Ford sooner than what was it? 4 months, 4 years?
4 years.
4 years.
Yeah, I think we'll see him again. I like Pat Ford on the show. I know everyone expects me to hate him, but he's good.
We are live, so if you want to tweet that out real quick.
Oh, get that up.
Tweet out what, that I like Pat Ford on the show?
No. The episode is live, so people can listen now. I know people were complaining a little bit about the YouTube early on today, and yeah, it's annoying. The audio on our end is fine, so that's something that on the YouTube side is the problem. And you know, it's a little tough to address in the moment, especially when we have a big guest like Dave set, and our Zoom audio is all set with that. It doesn't matter as much to have those 15 minutes on YouTube. You know, not as accurate. In a perfect world, I wish it was, but I'd rather Dave be coming in and sounding great. And it's all going to sound great on the podcast version, which is what Kirk cares about. So that's where my focus truly does lie, in making sure the show is running as it's going.
And that was a great, the Dave interview segment was great.
Yeah.
I personally, like, I love, there's not a lot of organizations or people at Dave's level that'll do their thinking out loud the way he does. So it's just so interesting to have this guy that owns the company come on and be like, I'm not sure if I'm going to do this or that. It's just part of what I always liked about Kirk too. It's the like peek behind the curtain, seeing how the sausage is made and doing, you know, talking about things that most people go out of their way to avoid. Well, so that was really interesting.
Yeah, I thought that's a great point too, because I thought that in that interview, you know, Dave was working through it, like you said, and almost like looking to Kirk for his opinion and his take on what he should do with it. So it shows the respect that I think he does have for Kirk, and likewise, the respect that Kirk has for him as his boss. And like he said, just the best boss in the world. I've been in this Barstool world, and the amount of times I've just seen, you know, Dave be overly generous and overly caring to the people that work for him, that, you know, commit so much time and effort towards him. It's just the best.
And I don't, am I crazy to think it could end up on YouTube censored? Like just not to talk about them specifically, but what, in a case like that, couldn't a sponsor kind of make or break that decision? If the sponsor said, look, we don't, just cut out we paid a lot of money for this, cut out the guy saying he's going to blow up the house.
In theory, yes, but I think if you, as Dave said, like, factors seem to be 100% behind whatever Dave did. So again, I think it's a benefit of having such a strong partner like you do, like Kirk has with Miltons, for example. Like, Miltons has never left Kirk's side. Yep. So if you can find those advertisers that, you know what, like, they get it. That's a good sign of an advertiser. And I think, yes, the way they see it is they may lose some money now into this on this change, but in the long term, that loyalty is going to pay off tenfold.
I want to try Factor.
I ordered some last night.
That medium rare steak they showed actually
looked good.
I couldn't believe how good it looked.
Yeah, and that was the thing too. Like, a lot of people were, and not just Kirk, but in the greater Barstool world, were questioning, you know, Factor and everything like that. And everything I've heard from the inside and from what Kirk has said, like, everyone was really, really favorable towards it. Like, they said that Factor was great and the food was actually really good.
Yeah,
so.
I definitely, I want to try that. Tell them to send you guys. You guys should be getting some of that stuff, right? Boxes of merch and swag and shit.
I mean, Kirk should, not us.
No, he should throw you guys a bone. He should give you he should eat what he wants and then leave the container on the desk, and you guys can scurry over and start picking away at it.
No, I'm good.
like you wouldn't do it, Gus.
If it comes in for Kirk, it's Kirk's. I'm very clear about that.
I have a question for you, Gus.
Shoot.
Does it piss you off when I've noticed people accuse you of, like, oh, he makes it all about himself, or when Steve from Gloucester, who's a great guy, but when Steve says, like, what kind, who crawls around the mall like that? Does it bug you when they're referring to specific things that Kirk told you to do?
No, not at all.
See, you're unflappable. I'd be so irritated by that.
The only thing that, like, when people call me lazy, it gets frustrating.
Yeah.
Just because, like, I know how hard I'm working. I know Coleman knows how hard I'm working behind the scenes and doing stuff and talking and trying things out. There's a lot that I fail at.
Yeah. Like, I was ripping you the one time when you didn't answer when I needed something for a clip, but like 99% of the time, like, I send you a text, you're answering and giving helpful information. So I appreciate that.
How much time do you guys spend on stuff that doesn't end up making it onto the show, but you still listened to something and spent time cutting it up,
Right.
just because you thought maybe it's going to come up or maybe it's going to land?
A lot.
A lot, yeah.
I mean,
especially, I will say, especially for me, just because I don't know if any given, I mean, I'm getting a better pulse of it, but I don't know if any given topic is going to be something that's going to be like, nah, don't care. And that's always fine and helps me gauge, all right, I won't do that next time. But, I typically have anywhere from like 2 to 5 topics on a given day that don't get brought up at all just because we run out of time. And that's what I want. Like, I want us to just always have something at the ready, at the go that I can pull up so that, we're not just sitting here and, dicking around or whatever.
Yeah,
which is fun in its own right. But
yeah, better to have shit to just jettison at the end.
Exactly.
Rather than scrambling for more.
Yeah. And I think that was something, in Steve talking about how, Mike at Madawaska or Dave with the screen, like, yeah, those are big fuck ups. And to me, if I can limit those fuck ups, like, that is doing my job. So, to not get freaked out on or anything, it's like I'm always thinking about that. Like, I'm always trying to just do the best job possible for the show so that we can limit those things. So yeah, I'm pretty much working on it like 24/7, genuinely. Even stuff you guys don't see, it's like going back and forth with people, planning shit out, talking with, getting our advertisers and like there's a lot of back end stuff that also goes into it. That it just takes a lot of time, but I love it. It's been great.
Nice. Oh, I'm glad to hear you love it.
Yeah, no, that's been something weird too, is, I feel like people, bring up like, yeah, like if Coleman leaves or whatever. I mean, Kirk's even said it, like if he goes on to some pod like Chiclets. And for me right now, like I have no desire. Like, I was gone from Barstool. Like, this is the show that I genuinely love right now. Like, I think I'm, to be honest, a better fit than some shows I had been on before at Barstool.
Yeah, I think you're a good fit. And if you were to move on, I would think it would be a vertical leap years from now.
Yeah, like
right now, maybe you could move on laterally, but why would you want to? Right now,
exactly. Like,
you're
I'm not
top
going
dog,
home.
You've got the chance to really build something.
Exactly.
So yeah, why would you jump any sooner than?
And Chicago isn't like super enticing to me. Like, it's a cool new building they have and everything, but that's not what I care about. I care about a good show, and this is an amazing show.
You think it compares to this?
No, nowhere close.
Look at this. I don't even know.
Well, that's for sound. That's supposed to be there for sound.
Also, just being in this area, I love New England. Like, I spent my college years up here and really developed a love for this area. So being back is just amazing. It's an awesome opportunity.
So that's why you have buddies in this area?
Yeah.
Oh,
He went to school 5 minutes down the road.
I had to put that together. When you guys talk about going out with your boys, I'm like, how does he have like a crew? Oh,
No,
okay. You went to BC, right?
I honestly have more friends in this area than I had in Jersey, because so many of my friends had either still been in school, moved out, moved away. Like, my hometown friends and everything was way less than the BC friends that are still here. So this is great for me.
Coleman, are you super religious?
Am I in church every weekend? No. And in the past couple of years, I would say like maybe a handful of times a year. But I like enjoy my religion, my faith or whatever. Like, I like having something to believe in. I adhere to it. I went to school throughout my schooling career where it was like faith-based, so I like am naturally tied to it in a way.
That's why the proclivities the proclivities come from hanging around all these men of the cloth, if you will.
Or I would say the lack of proclivities.
Yeah,
because like when Coleman.
Well, he's into a thing, He's not into women.
What?
Of course.
Coleman being gay.
Oh yeah, that's still
well,
whether he is or not. Coleman has.
You do your thing if you want. But,
Coleman has a really there's a wholesomeness to Coleman. That's why I asked that, because I kind of got the sense like, oh, maybe it's a faith thing. It just seems like a good guy. So when people are like, oh, he doesn't watch porn, it's like, well, yeah, maybe either it's like a.
Well, I mean, the reasoning why I think is what people have. I don't think people.
It's also not like I
think
haven't
people,
ever. Like, it's just like over time, I was just like, I'm kind of over this.
I think
these days
the same
is
shit
fucked
again.
up.
Like,
it is fucked up.
That's what I'm saying.
I think everyone will agree with that, but I think it's the way you said you don't watch porn and how it first came off as, I don't watch porn because it's ruining how guys can talk to girls at bars.
I know.
Like,
it was a take.
that is where I think the confusion and stuff comes from.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're looking for like, well, yeah, I don't know. I can't imagine, like when I think about my daughters growing up, like, or even this generation, like to think of the generation of young men raised on Pornhub. It's like, what the fuck expectations do they have of? I don't know. It's messed up.
It's pretty wild, and especially in today, where like as a society, like even when you go out, so many people are just sitting around on their phones. Like people are taking pictures and stuff. It's like, why don't we just put all that down and like have a real human moment, real human connection? Like I think finding someone naturally, spur of the moment out is still the best way to go about it. So that's what I'm getting at with a lot of that. But again, have I ever? No. Like of course I've seen porn before. I just at this day and age and this stage of the game, I'm young. I can, still hang for most of the night, as Gus can attest to.
Most of.
But I just, it's not top of my list nowadays. I don't know.
Are you going to do the Ash thing?
Pull a Tony Reali? Yeah.
Kirk will appreciate that.
If there's a way to, I don't see a way where I would be able to before a show. If he asks me to, then yeah, I'll go to mass beforehand, I guess, and do it. But I don't even know if I did that like my last year at school.
Go find one of the drive-through ones they're doing now. I think they're still doing them because of COVID.
Doesn't count.
Oh, really?
No, that doesn't count.
It doesn't count.
It doesn't. Sorry, I'm trying to find my no context for the day. I haven't done that yet.
Oh, what could it be?
Well, there's definitely some Disney. Which, speaking of, we can talk a little Disney. You're going.
Yeah.
Very excited for you.
Yeah, I'm excited. Sure.
When was the last time you went?
2 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm excited.
You brought up the Indiana Jones stunt show.
Yeah.
I'm shocked. That's what you're most excited for. Like Jeff's right. You're going to be disappointed on it.
You think so?
Do you remember the big boulder?
Yeah.
It still rolls.
Well, of course. What else is it going to do?
I'm just saying it doesn't change. Like it has not changed at all.
It's gonna look like he got run over by it. That's what I.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I want.
It's exactly what it's gonna look like.
But he didn't really, Gus. It's a stunt.
There's a little. Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
Actually, there's a cool Indiana Jones ride in Disneyland. They don't have it in Florida, but there's a full-fledged ride that I've never been on, but I've always wanted to.
Yeah, that one looks cool. I'm excited. I am excited because I think my next Disney trip's planned for November of 25 with my in-laws because they'll have a 3-year-old. My sister-in-law and her husband will have a 3-year-old.
I was about to say, are you pregnant?
No. So we'll be going down for that. And I'm just most excited, especially Epcot, all the construction and redoing that they're doing there to add more rides. I don't know if it's done yet when you'll go, but I know at least from a new ride standpoint, Guardians is awesome.
I'm dying to go on that.
Awesome. If you're not good with rides, I think if you sit on the right-hand side of the car, you get less nauseous than you do on the left, just because of the way the G's work.
Oh, that's good to know.
So that is because I know my wife and I we rode it twice and we switched seats, and there's the left side you can feel it like in your stomach more. You're like, ooh, but it's a fun time. Going to Disney's fun.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I love Disney. And we're definitely going to do the Guardians ride.
Yeah. Yep. Guardians, Tron looks sick.
Yep.
Yeah, Tron looks great.
I don't know about the Star Wars one.
Oh, you got to.
Yeah.
It's
kind of.
What if you don't love Star Wars?
Doesn't matter. It's a fun ride.
Yeah.
If you don't like Star Wars, hot take, I'm not the biggest fan of that ride. The new one.
The Rise of Resistance?
Yeah.
Or the Millennium Falcon one?
Millennium Falcon's great. The Rise of Resistance, I think, is just a little boring. Like, I think the thrills in it aren't that great. If you're a Star Wars fan, there's some cool moments.
I mean,
but
it's
otherwise,
similar to the Ratatouille ride. Like it's a trackless. I'd
like to get on the ride.
Indoor ride. So like you kind of go through an Imperial starship as like you're riding in this car trying to escape, and there's like some turns and stuff. You get dropped. It's fun. I like it. I think it's cool.
Good.
But it's trackless?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so is the Ratatouille ride, and as is the Mickey's.
It's like the Mickey and Minnie ride.
Yeah,
Oh, that's what that means.
Just like that. Yeah. So
Okay.
that's like the new style of ride that you're seeing pop up in a lot of theme parks now. I know way too much about theme parks.
No, I do. Legitimately, I do too. Yeah, unless you guys have anything else major. I mean, looking ahead to the weekend, I'll be cooking through the vlog a little bit. I gotta help get some stuff set up for the Wednesday announcement of the live show, so that'll be a lot of the weekend too. And then, yeah, finalizing the giveaways. Like to Gus's credit, and also I was doing this as well, but we were doing a really good job of keeping track of all the receipts. And people only see what's on Twitter, but also there was people sending in through Instagram and other means,
DMs,
too. So,
emails.
Yeah,
we're over 200 people right now on this list and going. Like we're combing through every order, making sure we get all the right totals for everything, because we don't want anyone to feel gypped out of it. And I think you can't say gypped anymore.
I don't
Screwed.
think you can. Yeah,
Stick with screwed.
Screwed is better.
Messed out of. I don't know.
Hashtag cancel Gus.
Wouldn't be the first time. And I think we just want to make sure we do this right. We talked the other day. I'm sure you'll see it in the vlog. I tried to call Nikki. I've called Nikki a few times already. I'm waiting for her to call me back. They have my number. She still has to talk to the owner, so we got to get that finalized so we can get the date locked in. But should definitely be a lot of fun. I'm excited for it. Delaware is always. There's a couple things in Delaware I'd like to go see anyway. So we'll see what it.
So that's looking good. The Subway one.
Yeah,
Wow.
Nikki was very interested. She's definitely a no nonsense kind of woman. You could tell, because when we called the second time, they were saying they were having some like technical issues with something, and you could like hear she's like, I gotta go. I gotta fix this thing. I was like, oh, I'm sorry. We'll hang up. Well, if you have any questions, give me a call. Whatever. So they're definitely fixing that for sure. So
that's cool.
But that was I think that call was on Wednesday. I want to say, or Thursday. It was one of those 2 days.
I was worried it might be like another Friendlies situation.
God, no.
Where once corporate kind of
fribble me this.
Yeah,
that was
that's awesome.
That so far hasn't really seemed like the case, but
it could be.
As we learn more. I'm not putting it out of the question, but right now everything seems okay, so no reason for concern just yet. So yeah. That's about all I have, unless you guys have anything else you want to get to. But
I mean, just kind of wrapping up again, a big thank you to the Minifans for the merch on all of Black Friday weekend, Cyber Monday, and everyone that came and helped out. I think as Kirk said, I think Barstool's very happy with the showing that the Minifans did.
They are, can confirm, yeah.
And the merch that came out of it. So it's. Look, you guys have been begging for merch. You did not disappoint. We're definitely going to keep throwing ideas out there. If they get thumbs up, great. And even a little bit, you were saying, Coleman, Buddha Ben tweeted out that there's all this talk about golf stuff and no mini golf merch. Mm-hmm. So maybe as a mini golf champion.
Steal his idea or whatever, but it was a good point that there isn't mini golf merch and there's just golf merch. And in my eyes, I heard that and was like, well, Kirk is the mini golf champ, so maybe there's a lane there or something. But again, like, we just did have a very successful Black Friday, and I think that there's room for merch going down the line, but it won't all just be at once at the same time. Like, give it some breathing room. We'll definitely try and come up with some more along the way now.
As a great producer once said, things take time.
Facts. They do.
Have you guys eaten?
No.
Today?
Are you ready to pass out at I'm like, seriously, I'm so fucking lightheaded and just.
I do this.
You guys do this
day.
every time?
Yeah.
Yep.
Holy shit.
Sometimes I'll grab Dunkin' if I'm really hungry in the morning and just get like a little sandwich or something. But most of the time, it's like when we get out of here, that's kind of one of the first things I do is just like a quick lunch before I dive into stuff.
Oh, dude, yeah. God bless you guys.
Yeah,
well, God bless Coleman.
Yeah, that's true.
Kick me out of the fucking Wordle chat.
It's crazy.
I didn't kick you out.
Yeah, you did.
I didn't kick you out.
You blocked me.
Oh, that
I can't be in there if I'm blocked.
Oh, okay. Maybe then
No, don't unblock. I don't want to get you in trouble with Kirk.
That's true.
No, you were following orders. I get it.
So that's what I do.
Yep. It's never gone wrong in history.
Fair point.
All right. I think that's it.
That's it. But
Thanks.
thank you for staying.
Oh, of course. Thank you guys.
That was great.
Thank you guys for having me.
You were a better Josh today.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah,
it's a high bar.
Yeah. But we'll see everyone on Sunday night with Kirk and Mike, and then I'm excited for next week.
Definitely.
All right, guys. Have a good one.
Great.